Hey everybody, it's Bill from Matt-Trakker.com and welcome to this episode of Behind the Mask. Just a reminder that we have a t-shirt giveaway on the channel. Basically, like, comment, subscribe on any of the videos we have. We're going to be picking names at random, putting them on the Wheel of Illusion, and doing a live giveaway for the winner. It'll ship anywhere, size, color, whatever you want, but whatever you see here, it's going to be that version of it, and you can customize it however you wish to have it customized. And that's just a thank you for watching and helping us keep Mask alive. In this episode here, I'm going to rank my Matt-Trakker figures. Now, if you're following the channel, Dave and I are going through all the figures, and episode 3 of that will be coming up soon. You can catch 1 and 2. There'll be links in the description. But I have a lot of Matt-Trakker figures, and if you have the entire set of the figures, you do as well. But I have a couple extras, and I'm including all of them. Now, I'm not including, that guy back there, because it's not a figure. And I did try to put it on once. The back's ripped. So I don't recommend it if you're bigger than... as a 2.5 feet tall. So don't do it. But I have a good amount. And what I want to do is, in the spirit of the ranking of all the figures and things I've done in the past, I want to make a tier list out of this and kind of show you where I place these figures in my collection and give me my thoughts on them. There's a couple weird ones in here. So it's not going to be a collection that everybody can have. You might have more than I do. I'm just going over what I do have, though. So if you look now here, I'm going to transfer over the video here. You can see what we have to work with. And each one I'll go over in detail, give my thoughts on them, and place them in the ranking. And feel free in the comments to kind of go over where some of these should fit if you have a different opinion. I'm always appreciative of seeing that. And I like to talk back and forth on this as well. And I have the figures next to me here. So what I'm going to do is kind of reach over, grab them at random, and we'll place them up there when we get them. So I'm just making sure I can actually see what I'm grabbing. Well, not see, but make sure I'm not grabbing something weird. All right. So we're starting off with this. What is this? This is Ace Riker. No, it's actually a playful Matt-Trakker figure, and I'm going to try to take the mask off. I've stated before to not do this for these figures because once that mask gets on there, these figures are so poorly put together, and they are not knockoffs. They're just poorly put together that you're most likely going to rip the head off of the figure. And if you've watched the show over the years, I've broken things by accident. So I'm going to try so you can see it. And it'll reflect in the picture too, because I'm not just going to have this come up here like this. I got that off without breaking it. Now, I like the color scheme on this figure. It's kind of unique, really. It gives you a different perspective of the Ace Riker uniform, but with the Matt-Trakker head. And I've gone over the playful figures in past videos, so if you want to, I'll put that in the description too. So if you want to get a little bit more detail of them, that's how you'll be able to do that. But this one here with the kind of the red in the black design, it's generic, but it works well. But and this is the problem with the playful line, is that all the masks were just a single color. There was no detail put into them. So this one here, I'm going to have to give, it's not Billboard Blast level, but I'm going to have to give it a D. And the funny thing is that these sell for like $200. So if you have to have them all, you're going to be paying a pretty penny to get these. And there's so many playful figures out there. And I have a couple more in the collection here. Not just Matt-Trakker, but others. So this goes in the D category. All right. So here we have the IDW repaint of the G.I. Joe figure that came out years ago of Specialist Matt-Trakker. And I don't like what they did with this figure. And just because the two are in tandem here, and I've talked about these two in the past, I'm going to just kind of bring them up together. We'll just do one after the other. And to be honest, I'm not a huge fan of either of these because it takes away from the allure of Mask, and all you have is these figures. If this is all we had to go with for future, I'd be okay with it. But for one-offs that happened at almost random, I'm not too thrilled with them. This one here is the original Specialist Matt-Trakker, and this one here is the repaint that came in the San Diego Comic-Con set. So the problem with this is that the repaint job on this is not well done. The joints are very stiff from the coloring. The aspects that were put into this, you can see there's different details. So it's not a direct, like, one-to-one repaint. But obviously they took other characters and just kind of, you know, molded them together, which customizers do all the time. So basically this is a custom figure that Hasbro put out into a set that now costs a ton of money if you want to get the whole set. This figure here can be bought on eBay for about $35, give or take. And it's just uninspired. It really is. And I wish it didn't exist because of how rushed it feels, because of how disjointed it is. And this one here, I mean, obviously there was more care put into this one. The details are better on it, but it's still just a one-off figure that we'll never get anything with ever again, probably. So if I'm judging this figure, I'm going to give it a C because it's at least an attempt. I have to go that route. Like I said, I just wish it was a little more flushed out and maybe, you know, not just a kind of recobbled, you know, transfer from one to the other. So if this was a little bit more original, it would probably be a higher grade for me. But I'm landing in the C category for this one here. And for the Specialist Matt-Trakker, there's other pieces that come with this too. I just don't have them on display. I don't like the backstory. I don't like the little card it came with. I don't like that it's packaged with G.I. Joe. The sculpt of the faces too, I might add. And I'll show this in the video a little closer. There's a ton more detail on the original Specialist Tracker than there is on the repaint. This one here, as I said, it feels rushed. So it's also one of the reasons why it's landing in the C category. If I had a middle between B and C, I'd probably land at this one there. But for now, this will land in the B category for me. It's okay. And it falls into the same premise of, hey, it's something kind of new. I can't hate them that much. I know it sounds weird, but that's where I'm landing. Okay, let's see what we got next. Matt-Trakker's clone from Skybolt. I've talked about the clones too. And while there's not much to say about this figure, I'm at least happy with the clone aspects of these, that they at least tie some of the colors from the original figures. Not all of them do, but they at least try to do that. But a lot of these figures that I've seen, it's going to be hard to see on the camera here, but I'll have a still shot of it too. You can kind of see the difference here between the mask color and the figure color. And I'm assuming that mine is just kind of sun bleached or something like that. But if it's not, there's a huge difference in the color of the mask versus the figure. So if yours does that too, let me know. I haven't seen too many of these in the wild or for sale to really compare. So I'm curious about that if yours does that as well. Sculpt's fine. It's the same figure. There's nothing to write home about. It's cool that it had a clone to give the crappy end of Skybolt to, but again, there's nothing to this. So it's a D for me. Actually, you know what? Yeah, we'll go D. I can't go that far. We got next. Oh, this guy's good. So I do have the long mask and the short mask in this collection here. What I'm going to be talking about. And if you, like I said, if you watched the episode that Dave and I did on the first batch of the figures, the Spectrum outfit, like there's elements here that aren't 100% cartoon accurate, and the long mask especially really takes away from some of the detail on the figure. Not just this figure, but all of the figures from Series 1. So because of the long mask being in the way, it really takes all of these down. It's a shame that it does that. It doesn't do that for, actually, it doesn't do it for all of them, but it does it for this one especially. And it's a Matt-Trakker figure, and it's not my favorite design of Matt-Trakker either. If you might be surprised at what it's going to be. This figure here, for this version, it's going to go in the C category because of the long mask. Goliath. Matt-Trakker with a shroud mask. I like it when I can find a figure in the mask collection that isn't a repaint, that isn't a rehash of something else. This figure is pretty unique, not only in the fact of its color design, mimicking the show, of course, but it doesn't really, I'm just grabbing another figure here. It completely does not follow any other standards of Matt-Trakker. Now, Matt-Trakker is a tall person in the cartoon, and I would imagine that would be the same in a movie if it ever happened. I'm holding up this figure here, which I'll talk about later, but you can see the difference here between this repaint lava shot and the shroud Matt-Trakker. If this had the same height requirements, if it kind of stayed the same, which I don't think there would be an issue with it because the race car that he's driving for Goliath, it's open top. So I don't see why you would have to have a shorter figure on that front. If this was like right there and it matched pretty well for all the other Matt-Trakker figures, you can see there's a difference here too. I give it an A, but because it's a little off, we're going to go B. It is one of my favorite designs, though. I just wish the height was like there on it. And just a quick note on this. For some reason, and I don't know fully for sure yet, a lot of the masks from Series 3 get hard over time, and they become extremely brittle. So if you are looking to purchase these masks, not only this one here, which does happen a lot, but the Eclipse Mask from Brad Turner, that one especially. I don't know what's in that one, but almost every one I've ever seen is hard and brittle. Make sure you're asking the seller if it's brittle or not before you purchase, just for your own sake of knowledge. It's a tip I can give you at least on that. All right, so look over here, keep a little mix. mask might fall off. I might have to look over. So I'll mix them up from here on out. Skybolt Map Tracker. We haven't gotten this far yet in the figure list, but there's very few like saving graces of the split seconds line. While I'm not a fan really of the Skybolt figure, it's not the figure, the vehicle itself. This here, I'm always a sucker for orange, and it's probably due to this, to be honest. So I'm also used to losing all the time. But yeah, I'm not fighting crime all, I'm losing all the time and then working overtime. It's unique because you have white and blue and then these pops of orange in it. The detail, which I wish was in, the clone, which you can't have it. It's just a hologram of the person, really. The detail of this is really well done. And I feel like if before I get any further, these little pieces here at the bottom, they exist on the mask. So when you're buying, make sure that is there. They fall off all the time. Well, not fall off, but break off. So this is for reference. More so on the painted one than the clone mask because the paint hardens and so on and so forth. If this wasn't in the split seconds line, I have to tie I can't tie the vehicle to it though. It's not fair. It's not fair. I was going to go B because of Skybolt, but I feel like this figure, the sculpt, the muscle like it has on it, the very minute details that are on this figure, I feel like this could be an A, ranking it out of my Matt-Trakker figures. Now, this might be different when I'm looking at it collectively through every other figure. This one here, though, I'm right there. You know what? I'm going to go A on this one. For Skybolt Map Tracker. See what we got next. Also, I don't know by feel either. Well, there's one over here that I can tell. What do we got? So again, you got a long mask problem. And what I'm going to do is talk about this one, and then I'll talk about the original figure, the short mask version. Actually, you know what? I have to do these both at once because my points are going to be a little off as I do this. And I brought this up in the episode that Dave and I did. I should have did this Spectrum too, but learn from your mistakes, move on. This figure, the short version of Ultra Flash, well, the mask powers, a flash of light. If you're looking for something that's like direct from the cartoon to the toy line without customization, this is almost as close as you're going to get. This here is one of the figures that I would really say that if you're only looking to collect figures, make sure you get this back in your collection. It's too good not to have in it. And the short mask doesn't hide any of the details where the long mask does, as you can see. Same standard matte head on here. The silver pops off of the red and brown, which is one of the things that I really, really like about this figure. If I could see something along the lines of this being, this here is a C, right? The long mask is just so look how much detail it covers. And if you're a collector, you know detail is important. And these figures a lot of times don't have that. So figures that do have really, really exquisite, minute detail, you don't want to cover that up. This one here, the version of this, ranking out of my Matt-Trakker figures, I'm putting in the A category. So let me know where you stand on that. And then, let's see. What do we got? What do we got? Who's this? Ooh, okay, so we talked about this one a little while ago. This is a European repaint of the Lava Shot Matt-Trakker that came in a 2-pack. And standard Matt-Trakker. The repaint is okay. Do I like it better than the original version? I actually do. And I'll go into that later once I get to that one. Red and black and silver. It's a 3-color combination that works well on almost anything, really. And the one thing that this mask and uniform have going for it is that the mask is matching, you know, some of the primary dominant colors here. If this was maybe the release that I had when I was a kid, I'd have more of an, affection toward it. But I didn't get this until I started recollecting. I don't know if anybody else had it when they were kids, but since it was European, I didn't. And it was always one of those ones that was like, I remember getting it. I was just like, wow, I didn't even know this existed until I went to Albert Pinello's website. So it's it's just kind of funny as you learn, and I keep learning new things with Mask, thanks to all of you, because I don't know everything. I never claimed to. I do know that I'm, crazy, but I don't know everything. So there's that. But this one here, I like better than the original. I'm placing this one in the B category. It's not an A for me, but it's definitely in the B category for me. And let's talk about the original. Going against the grain a little bit here. If this figure, if the mask matched the rest of it, this would probably be an A for me. But look at it. Detail, tons of it. It's just the mask throws it off. It's purple. You got red, silver, gray, and purple. And that's not the way it's supposed to be. I wish I could rank this higher, but because it's so off-putting to me, I have to give this a D. You might have a different affection for it, and that's fine. Again, I'm ranking the Matt-Trakker figures in the collection as I have them. What else do we have over here? Let's see. Got the adventure pack with the dolphin mask, and got his little dinghy. Get your mind out of the gutter. It's a little boat. The adventure packs are unique, and it's not fair really to incorporate all of this, but that's how it came. There's also flippers I have in storage too. I don't have them out here. You could get these for, like, at the time, I think they were $1.99. So not only are you getting a figure, you're getting a little extra component to it. And not just this one. There's another one here that we're going to talk about in a little bit. But all of the adventure packs, whether it was the American release or the European release, or not American, but North American. And that's a really unique thing. Think about the Star Wars line when they came out with those really small vehicles to try to sell more toys. This wasn't that same concept, but it gave you that you could have the adventure without spending, all that money in the past. And what I'll say about this figure itself, not only did Kerouac use it pretty well in his comics. I won't spoil anything, but if you haven't read Mask 86, please do so. the way that the figure ties all the colors together, if it was, let's say this was, if this was one of the ones that were in the cartoon, again, you would have more, affiliation with it, more affection toward it. Since it wasn't really in the cartoon, I still played with it all the time when I was a kid, and I still love this figure today. I think it's one of the better designs, even though it is a repaint of Ultra Flash, right? It's a repaint of Ultra Flash. It's still unique in its own way. So for this one here, I'm going to give it a B because it's not Ultra Flash itself, but because of the cool color design and, just because of the fact that it wasn't something that I had a ton of, affiliation for when I was a kid. There's another figure in the adventure packs that I played with all the time, and I'm sure we'll get to it in a second here. So that's a B. Oh, just by happenstance. So this is a repaint of Spectrum with a new mask, the Arrow mask. This is Jungle Challenge. So you have this backpack on the figure, and it's a glider. There's nothing really on here that says like it flies, right? I guess it does. But you have this glider on it that gives you the ability to not have to have a vehicle the same as Dolphin Matt-Trakker, where, when you're a kid, you can use this, put the backpack on, and fly after Switchblade. You're hanging off Switchblade. You're having these adventures with this. And that's something that I did a ton of when I was a kid. Yeah, Spectrum has every power known to man, but when you have to use your imagination more, that's where it really came into play. And I always love that because of this figure. It's also something that, Kerouac did really well in his Mask 86 comic, actually incorporating these figures into his story. If it wasn't for the fact that it was a repaint, this would be an A for me. So because it's a repaint, I'm going to go B, but it doesn't mean that I don't hold it very high in my, regard of everything. It's just, it's hard to say, hey, a repaint is, original. But that's how high up I hold this. That's how high in regard I have this. So, I guess I can, as I'm holding it, I'm remembering 30 years ago when the heroes you had didn't let you down. They were your heroes, and they weren't monsters. Solid B. What do we got left over here? Oh, I'm going to give it a mix. Okay, there we go. Oh, God. Another playful. This one here, he was stuck on a horse, apparently, and his legs are now stuck this way. I do not like this figure. I do not like green eggs in him. I don't know why I just thought of that, but as I said, that's what I thought of. None of the colors match. Trust me, it's Matt-Trakker under here. I'm going to try, but I'm not going to pull too hard. If I can't get this thing off, trust me, he's under there. Nope, not happening. So again, you have an uninspired, no color mask, just a single color. I wish they had more detail on it, and the colors on the figure are just very dull and muted. I know they were probably trying to go for something that wasn't in the cartoon or anything else in general, but it doesn't work here. It's too dull. It's just awful. And I do have a Billboard Blast ranking here, and that's where this one's going. Ooh, I had to feel bad. All right. Another one. So no, playful. This one, though, look at it. It has detail. I don't know where it came from. Again, I'm not going to take the mask off. Oh, wait, I don't have to struggle. This one came right off. You have actually really good detail on this figure. And while red and black might be a mundane color scheme, the green really pops off of this. It's something that you wouldn't really think to incorporate, but whoever designed this one did a really good job. And the mask actually has design and color. Look at that. This will be my highest ranked playful figure out of this. And it'll go into the C category. I already ranked this. What do we got left? We got 3 figures left. Spectrum Matt-Trakker. This is not my favorite Matt-Trakker. It's because Matt was the focal point of the entire series for the most part. I was always let down a little bit as a kid because it didn't have like an exact representation. What I do like, though, I do like the detail in the figure. I do like the attempt at getting it as close as possible. It's just something that I think expectation is too high. So it ruins that in a way. Should you not collect this one? No, definitely get it. It should be one of the cornerstones of your collection. That doesn't mean that I don't like the figure. It just means that it's not my favorite Matt-Trakker. Now, I placed the long mask in the C category, so the Spectrum Matt-Trakker, which people might be surprised, is going to go in the B category for me. And it literally has nothing to do with, hating Matt-Trakker. If I did, I don't think I would have the site name Matt-Trakker. Kind of weird, wouldn't it? So there's actually one here I'm going to save for last. So we have Matt-Trakker from Laser Command with the Laser Tron Mask. I mean, if this is looking familiar to you, there you go. It's a straight repaint. It's a bold color choice, very vibrant. Reminds me of Easter almost with the pastel colors. And it's a fine attempt at a repaint, but a lot of the detail is lost in the repaint, most notably on the legs. This figure sells for a lot of money because the set is really hard to find. And it's a shame that it does cost so much. You're going to pay $100 or more for a complete figure and mask. It's definitely one of the things you should collect last, in my opinion. Honestly, you still might not know it exists, even after looking up some other stuff. It's so obscure that if you wanted to get the set, you're looking at $600 or more, I think. And it is a shame that does happen, but unfortunately you have supply and demand, and those sets are hard to find, especially in working order. So this one here, I just don't, I'm not in love with it. But I don't hate it as much as I hate some of the others. I'll throw him in the C category. And finally, I didn't save this one for last on purpose. It just kind of happened this way. Oh God, it's still sticky. It's Matt-Trakker and his mask from the MISC set that I have. Oh, why is it sticky? Oh my God. Okay. All of these figures are sticky. I don't know why. And I'm going to have a picture up here too of the figure. It's a weird attempt at a bootleg. Let me show you how the mask fits too. So here it is here. There it is. That's how it fits. So you have to tilt your head this way in order to get it in there. The mask inside has these little notches. So I think if I turn it, maybe I can jam his head in there. That's a little better, I guess. But these things are so cartoonish and so awful and so weird. I had to have it, number one. Do I like them? No, I don't. It's the Miles Mayhem figure is even weirder. Oh God, I touched it again. These sell for a lot of money. They pop up very rarely, and sometimes you can find them individually, carded, loose. But the ones I've seen the most of are the 4-pack. It's Dusty, Brusado, Miles Mayhem, and Matt-Trakker. They come with guns too, because you remember that from Mask, right? Running around with guns. Early concept art had that, but not the cartoon. This one here is special, and not a good special. It's it's who has yellow shoes? And I'm not saying this, like, if you have yellow shoes, that's great, but you're a leader of like a really sophisticated organization, and your costume has pale blue legs and yellow shoes and a mask that makes you break your neck. This one here is going to be Billboard Blast level for me. Does that mean I'm going to get rid of it? No, it doesn't, because I'm going to buy weird stuff like this if I can, if I find it. Because part of what I have behind me and what I'm trying to do is preserve Mask. No matter how sticky it is. I should probably wash that off. But let me know your comments and your thoughts on the list I put together here. Which one is your favorite Matt-Trakker figure? Again, this is what I have here in the collection I have behind me. It doesn't mean that this list is what you would pick out of your collection and so on and so forth. But I'm always curious. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you have any of the MISC figures? Are yours sticky? Am I the only one? But thanks for watching again, and please remember to like, comment, and subscribe to help keep Mask alive. And this is Bill from Matt-Trakker.com, and I'll talk to you later. Spectrum's got such supervision.